when you play against the team like Spurs?
Well, they're championship team players. Kawhi Leonard is playing at a big-time all-pro level. You know, you've got their system you got to play against. There's so many different things, and you put your finger in one hole and it opens up another. They execute so well offensively, so it's a huge challenge to your defense. Your defense has to be disciplined. Your defense has to be very specific in what you want to do and what you want to try to take away, and because they have so many weapons. You know, you got Leonard, he's playing so well. Aldridge is really playing at a high level right now in the low post. Patty Mills is coming off the bench. He had 20 points in 20 minutes last night. So they have a lot of issues that you got to deal with. But a lot of tonight is about us, our approach, our toughness, how we come out on the offensive end, defensive end, playing with a swagger, and playing basketball, and not get caught up in how many games you won, how many games you lost, who you playing. Get back to our identity.
Coach, talk with Corey about now losing some scoring with DeMar out, when Kyle had sat in Brooklyn and he had to step up as well as Fred. Is that something that you guys also let them know and ask them and tell them to be a little bit more aggressive once, you know, you're losing that extra score?
Well, you never tell someone not to be aggressive. What, you know, he has to do is take his opportunities. You know, Corey had some good opportunities the other night. We didn't finish. We missed, 9 layups. So we got to go in there and finish. And Corey knows, understand, we have plays for him. He's got to take those shots. Like I always said, it's a make or miss league. But again, he's always got to be aggressive. And like you said, to take up some of the scoring slack that we lose with DeMar. T. Ross is going to have some opportunities to do that. Norm Powell. Again, we've never told guys not to be aggressive. Play with confidence on the offensive end. Guys know what shots they have the green light on. There's some non-negotiable shots for some guys, and they know that. So the key is play with tremendous confidence and a swagger on the offensive end, and definitely play with a swagger and a toughness on the defensive end against a good offensive team like San Antonio.
But then also your kind of offensive approach made that change a little bit. Maybe do you go down low a little bit more to JV now that one of your guards is out?
Oh, you want me to give our game plan away? No, we have to make up for those points. We have to in different ways. We're not just going to find one guy that's going to take it. It's probably going to be by committee.
Hey, Coach, we're seeing this around the league. All teams, good teams, go through little rough patches. I mean, what's been your message to this team to stay positive?
Exactly what you said. Everybody goes through it. You know, you see Cleveland going through it, and again, we don't want to be in that group. You know, we control what we can control. This is a time of year that's very difficult for everybody. The All-Star game is around the corner, but it's not exactly here yet. There's some good teams that's coming that you got to go against. So the mental toughness that you got to have at this time of year, and every team I've been with, whether it's Dallas, Seattle, is so important. The leadership that you have to talking guys through out of thinking they're fatigued or mentally fatigued, whatever the excuse is. It's still basketball. It's still time left before the break. So we've got to play through it, and we're playing for something. We're trying to maintain a level of play that we are still relevant and stay toward the top of the East.
Dwane, what are the qualities you've seen with Popovich that allows him to be so successful year in and year out?
Pop is the best in sports. You know, I know Coach Belichick has a reputation of being the best coach, but I've looked up to Coach Pop for a long time as a head coach, as an assistant coach, what he does, the program, the system he has in San Antonio. He's the president, so he does have the hammer also, but the program that he's sustained, you know, with great players, whether it's David Robinson, I go back that far, and all those guys. You bring in another guy who falls in that, Tim Duncan. You have Avery Johnson. The program that he's sustained over the years, people are going to be talking about it for years to come, and that's all because of him. He's the head of the snake there. He controls it. And again, the way he does it some with humor, some with the hammer. But the players understand and know what they're supposed to do. They know their jobs. They know their roles. And that's what we all are trying to build in our programs. That's what we're trying to build here here with the Raptors, with that type of program, with the continuity, the system, defensively and offensively, over the years and try to sustain that, and that's very difficult to do.
He's always been the quiet, reserved type.
No, Pop hasn't. No, he speaks out. I love what he's doing with the social issues in the States. It's very important. What he's saying, he has the platform. He's the guy. They're not going to listen to Dwane Casey or to whoever else, but they will listen to Gregg Popovich. So what he says on the social issues in the U.S. is right on time, on target, and I know that's something that is very important to him.
How did Pat look this morning?
Pat looked like Pat.
You mentioned earlier the team hasn't been talking much on defense. Has that been a problem these past couple games?
That has been. The communication level has not been there the way it should be. That's something that is hurting us defensively. So our guys talking to each other, letting each other know where the help is coming from, what action should be taken, and doing with confidence, doing with the swagger. Again, when you are not sure, sometimes you don't say anything. My thing is say something. Screen, right, left. There's only two, one right or left. So we got to say something and communicate. And I tell them all the time, they get on the cell phones and talk all day or text. Texting may be the problem. I don't know. But we got to talk. We got to communicate, especially in transition.
Coach, one thing we know Pop love to do is rest their starters when he thinks they need to take a rest, like last night. And then some of the coach said they don't agree with that. Where are you at? I
think you have to mix it. I think you have to know your players. Certain players need rest, certain players don't. Sometimes you have to make, like we had to make Kyle take a game off in Brooklyn because just the wear and tear, the usage that he has. I'm not all for it all the time. I don't think we're in a position to do it all the time, but Lord knows, Kyle and DeMar are two guys, and possibly Jonas at some point needs rest. But, again, it's very difficult to do when you're fighting and scratching for territory and positioning in the rankings. But again, it is a smart thing to do with certain players.